name is Diego. I'm an infrastructure manager in Ryanair. I handle the ERP, Unix, AWS side of the company. I've been working in Ryanair since 5 years now. And specifically, I wanted to share with this audience is the our journey through the open source Rundeck that we had started 5 years ago with a definite problem, right? Ryanair, as you probably know, Ryanair, we are a major carrier airline in Europe, and the problem that I initially faced when I joined Ryanair, I joined as an ERP system administrator, is that many if not all of the integrations between systems were running separately on servers, right? Like isolated jobs and executions. So one of my first reviews and analysis of the situation is why don't we have something to wrap it all up? We had like more than in the past, more than 100 servers on-prem, each and every one of them executing tasks. Nobody knew if those tasks were executed successfully or not. Scheduled tasks, critical tasks that were running every 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. So they were all just there running with this standard Unix cron job on the servers. And obviously losing logs because logs get rotated. And it was very difficult to troubleshoot these type of scenarios, right? Where is this job running? I need to log into the box, access issues, viewing the logs. I don't have the log, troubleshoot why it failed. It was very difficult to provide a business view, which is critical because we have a lot of business users that required troubleshooting and feedback from those jobs. No self-service, nobody could run the jobs if they need to be run again manually. We only had to do it, and we were only a team of 4, which was very busy times and very inefficient work was done because, like I said, everything was done manual. At the time before running Rundeck, we reviewed some other options like paid options like Control M and similar tools that obviously were very expensive. And since we are ultra low carrier cost, that was not an option. So we started with Rundeck open source version 2.4 point something. It was ages ago, but we started doing this deployment of the tool. What was our journey, right? We started with the standard, like everybody else starts, right? One single backend server in MySQL, which is the easiest implementation, right? We started doing a task of inventory and moving jobs away from the standard Unix operating system into Rundeck. Of course, we had a lot of setbacks, mainly because fear of rejection, right? Anyway, am I have audio or I lost it?
Yes, yeah, no, I can.
Oh, okay, no, I thought I was getting an error message of internet. I thought it was disconnected. Anyway, so rejection phase started, but then once we solved that and we showed proven to the business that this was a way to store logs, audit executions, review executions if we're failed successfully or not, have an holistic view of the entire business. We started on board pretty much everything. After 6 months of hard work, we onboarded everything into Rundeck. We stopped executing local jobs on servers. Everything was migrated to Rundeck. We adopted continuous integration, continuous delivery approach with the SSM integration plugin tool with Bitbucket. Obviously, started growing. We had to do several tweaks, which Justin is very knows about us, right? We done a lot of things with Rundeck ourselves on the open source version because we had to. We're a big user of our RD CLI, which has become exceedingly good for bulk operations, enabling jobs, transferring jobs. It's a tool that, in my opinion, is not very publicly known, but it's super useful for managing Rundeck in a CLI way. And we started growing and growing because obviously it was performing well. We moved to MySQL Galera cluster for resiliency. And then we started exploring how do we get metrics, right? And beautiful dashboards that we can show in Grafana for our operations and monitoring teams. We integrated the Prometheus exporter for monitoring Rundeck executions. We then we moved away from MySQL to Postgres, which is more suitable for our loads. And the latest journey in our open source voyage was the integration of HashiVault for secrets management that was to comply with Rundeck is also executing jobs in SOC systems, and we need to comply with SOC security standards. So we had to, even though in the past we had the secret store in an encrypted file system in the Rundeck servers, we offloaded that into a HashiVault for secret management. And that's in a nutshell, guys. Very short and sweet. Our journey from beginning to end of the open source version of Rundeck.
Quick one for you, Diego. 'Cause,
Yes.
you and I know each other, but I mean, what does the landscape look like today, generally, from like the number of jobs that you run, or
Today we
think
have roughly 500 jobs, and we have almost 40,000 executions daily now.
it's a fair old scale.
Yes.
Anything on the wish list? Anything that you'd like us to do better, or
To be honest, we are pretty comfortable with the product that we have so far, and like I said before, it's struggling through the rejection phase, right? The way you do things, once you go over that, it's easier because people understand that it's more easy for them to log into Rundeck and look for logs than to ask or open a ticket. It's the self-service portal that we use a lot, and people took a while to people to realize that it's a very powerful tool. We execute Bash, we execute Python, we execute jobs in AWS. We use it for patching, for audit, for reporting, for monitoring. We use it for a lot of use cases. And when somebody from the business comes to me and they ask me for something, I'm confident that I can tell them that 99% of the times it can be automated, and it's doable. It's the human part that is not automated for now, at least, but the technical part can be automated because you can do pretty much anything.
And I mean, there's obviously a lot of talk. We talk a lot of times about sort of event-driven automation. So most of your automation seems to be either scheduled or self-service.
Yes.
Any plans to react to anything else within the organization as an event? So, if we see this or this happens, maybe from your, I don't know, monitoring tool or something like that.
Well, we do have that we have several monitoring tools. The most useful for me is Prometheus, which is also open source. And we have been doing this for 2 years, I believe. Prometheus Alert Manager triggers a Rundeck webhook and executes a job based on an alert. So we do have that, yes.
You're way ahead, right? Understand? Yeah, cool. That's it's really interesting. And I think it's interesting for anybody else on the meetup, right? That that there are maybe 4 or 5 ways of interacting with Rundeck in case you're not thought about it. And just to list them out, of course, you've got your self-service, click on a button. You've got webhooks, which I think James is going to talk about next. We have, you've got the CLI, and props for shouting out the CLI. It's been around for a long time, and it's there to use if you want to build it into some other kind of flow. Then you've got event driven, or you might also have triggered from like ITSM tools and things like that.
Yes.
We see all of these use cases. I think sometimes it's just good to just kind of list them out and sort of say, hey, if you've not thought about this might be some way that you can still use Rundeck in exactly the same way, but just figure different ways for it to appear.